Okay, the next story is called An Invitation from Moonface and Silky. But I think Joe looks a little bit sad in that picture. I hope he's okay. Let's read the story and find out. Nobody had really enjoyed their visit to Rockingland, which had been a mistake anyhow. They sat in Moonface's house, untying their cushions from their backs and their fronts and looking at all the bruises they got. "What shall we do with these cushions?" said Bessie. "Moonface, could you do with them?" "I expect," said Franny. "He uses such a lot of cushions on the slippery dip, don't you, Moonface?" "Yes, they'll do very well," said Moonface, his big face smiling joyfully. "Some of mine are getting a bit old and worn out now. We can't possibly give them back to that cross old woman in Rockingland, so we might as well put them to some good use." "Right," said Joe, and he handed Moonface his 2 cushions. Everyone else did too. Moonface was pleased. He poured lemonade for everyone, then handed around a tin of sweets. "I don't feel as if I ever want to see what land is at the top of the tree again," said Joe, as he munched on a peculiar toffee sweet, which seemed to be getting bigger in his mouth instead of smaller in his mouth. "Oh, I see his cheeks are really pushy outy, puffed out, so maybe that's what's wrong with his face." "Neither do I," said Bessie. "I certainly never will," said Franny. "It seems as if there are never any lands there worth visiting. They are all most uncomfortable." "Except my little land," said Saucepan Man rather mournfully. "I was always very comfortable there." Joe's sweet was now so big that he couldn't talk at all. Then suddenly it exploded in his mouth into nothing and left him feeling most astonished. "Oh dear," said Moonface, "did you take a toffee shock?" "That," said Moonface, looking at Joe's surprised face. "I'm sorry. Take another sweet." No, thank you," said Joe, feeling that the toffee shock was quite enough. "I think we'd really better get going. It must be getting late now." "What's going to happen to old Saucepan Man now that he's lost his land?" asked Bessie, picking up a yellow cushion ready to slide down the slide. "Oh, he'll live with Mr. What's-his-name," said Moonface. "Hello! Uh-oh, he's taken a toffee shock by mistake too. Watch him, watch him." They all watched. The Saucepan Man's toffee got enormous and was almost about to explode. Then it did, and it went into nothing in his mouth. The Saucepan Man blinked his eyes and looked so astonished that everyone shouted with laughter. "That was a toffee shock you were eating," said Moonface. "A coffee clock?" said Saucepan Man, even more surprised. "Dear me." "Come on," said Bessie, giggling. "It's time we went. See you another day, Moonface. Bye, Saucepan Man." She shot off down the slide, round and round and round, and out the trapdoor at the bottom. Then Franny slid off, and so did Joe. "Goodbye," he called. "Goodbye." Mother was astonished to see all their bruises. "Whatever have you been doing?" she asked. "I shan't let you go to tea with that Saucepan Man again if you come home with all these bruises like this. And how dirty are your clothes?" Joe longed to tell Mother about Rockingland and their adventure there, but he felt sure that she would think he was making it all up, so he said nothing and went off to change his dirty clothes. Wow, look at this page. There's an owl. That's a little bit like Hedwig, Harry Potter. And he's got a letter in his mouth. Things did not go very well next week. Father lost some money one night, and Mother could not get very much washing to do, so money was very scarce, and the children did not have much to eat, as they would have liked. "If only we could have a few hens," Mother sighed. "That would at least give us some eggs to eat, and a little goat would give us some milk." "And what I need is a new garden spade," said Father. "Mine broke yesterday, and I can't get in the garden without it. It's very important that we should grow as many vegetables as possible, because we don't have enough money to buy things." To make things worse, their father was very cross with them for having spoilt their clothes the day they'd gone off with Saucepan Man. "If that's the way you treat your nice clothes you will just stay home and you won't go out at all," he scolded. The children did not like being scolded. Scolded means when your parents get cranky with you. And Bessie mended her clothes nicely as she could. 2 weeks went by, and the children had not even had 2 hours to themselves to go and see Moonface. He'll be wondering what's happened to us, said Franny. Moonface certainly was wondering. He had waited each day and each night to see if the children and he and Silky had wondered what was the matter. We'll send the barn owl with a note to tell the children to come quickly, said Silky at last. So she slipped down the faraway tree to the hole where the barn owl lived. She knocked on his door and he pecked it open. What is it? He said in a hoarse voice. Oh, Barney, dear, will you take this note to the children at the little cottage over by the wood? Asked Silky in her sweetest voice. You are out hunting tonight, aren't you? Yes, said the barn owl, and he took the note in one of his great big clawed feet. I'll take it, he said. He slammed his door shut behind him and rose into the air on great creamy white wings. As silent as the wind, he flew to the children's cottage. They were all in bed asleep. Barney sat on the tree outside and screeched loudly. The children woke up with a jump. Whatever's that? Said Bessie. Joe came into the room. Did you hear that? He asked. What could it be? The barn owl screeched again. He had a dreadful voice. The children jumped again. Joe went bravely to the window and looked out. Is anyone being hurt out there? He asked. Me! The owl said again. Joe nearly fell out the window with fright. The barn owl spread his great soft wings and flew to Joe. He dropped the note on the window sill and screeched again, and went off into the night to look for mice and rats. Oh, it's the barn owl, said Joe. He left a note. Quick, light your candle, because this is the olden days and they don't have electricity. And let's see what the letter says. They lit the candle and crowded around the note, and this is what it said. So here's the note that they wrote, that they had. Dear Joe, Bessie and Franny, why don't you come and see us? Are you cross? Please come soon, because there is a wonderful land at the top of the tree now. It's the land of take what you want. If you would want anything, you could usually get it there for nothing. Do come and we'll all go together. Lots of love from Moonface and Silky. Oh, said Franny, the land of take what you want. That sounds like fun. We could get some we could get some hens. And I'll get a goat, said Bessie. And I'll get a new spade for father, said Joe. But then he frowned. I'd quite made up my mind not to go up any more of those strange lands. You simply never know what might happen there. We better not go. Oh, Joe, said Bessie, do let's. After all, if there's a nice land, we might as well visit it. Shh, you'll wake up Mother, said Joe. We'll see tomorrow what happens. If we can get away some time to ourselves, we'll ask Mother if we can go, if there's a really safe land. Now we'd better go to bed and go to sleep. But they did not sleep much. No, they were wondering what the land of take what you want was like, and if they were really going to visit it tomorrow. And the next story is called The Land of Take What You Want.